Texas get this hurricane, and it knocks out the power, and 3 million people in Texas are then without power. And then they get 186 tornado warnings. 186! In God's country, Texas. Like, what did you do to piss off God? What did you do to get a plague of tornadoes? So 3 million people without power, 186 tornadoes, and the temperature there. The temperature do you know when it gets like 30 degrees here and we're just like, this is too hot now, isn't it? 48 degrees Celsius in Texas, and the tornadoes and no power. 48 degrees. And so there's old folks in houses in Texas that are just cooking. Incredibly dangerous for the oldies. And because, their aircon units are all switched off, obviously. And the fridge won't keep their water cold. And all the food is rotten. And so obviously, it's an emergency, right? And so their governor, a guy called Greg Abbott, what do you think he's doing? Where do we think he is at the moment? Live chat. Do we think he's in Midland, Texas? Do we think he's in Austin? Do we think he's in some of the burbs, checking that everyone's got power, and if they don't have power, like where do you think Greg Abbott is? He's in Taiwan! Is where Greg Abbott is. Their governor, Greg Abbott, is off gallivanting around the world, shaking hands and making plans, guys. While your fucking grandma looks like she's the fucking 2024 self-immolation champion. She just... Your sister looks like fucking Sarah Connor engulfed in fire in the T2 Nightmare scene. Your kid walks outside and sees 2 pigeons just burst into flames. It's hot. There's no power. There's tornadoes. 48 degrees. And Governor Greg Abbott is like, you know what? It might be a good time to fuck off for a bit. Like, what's the weather like in Taiwan? Oh, it's 29 today and rain tomorrow, Greg. Oh, sweet Mary, baby Jesus and Joseph. Thank you for this precious gift. All right. And this isn't a new thing for Texas, by the way, because Ted Cruz is their senator.
Despite his fellow Texans suffering, freezing, going hungry, some of them even dying, Senator Ted Cruz last night flew to Cancun, Mexico for a family vacation.
But this is a few years back. In 2021, you might remember this, they had a winter disaster this time. All the power went out. Loads of people without power, loads of people struggling, food rotting. Don't know what the temperature was like. Don't know if there was tornadoes. Maybe they hadn't pissed off God that much by that point. But it was a winter disaster, everyone without power, and Ted Cruz grabbed his passport and flew off to Cancun. Just left them like he was Rishi Sunak on the beaches. He just off right out of there. And people stopped him at the airport. They were like, where the are you going? And he was like, well, I prayed for you. If anyone could help you, then it's the Lord Jesus Christ. And frankly, I think it'd be downright blasphemous if I was to stand on the Lord's toes. So, but you're the Senator Ted. Like, can't you stay here and help people? People could die, Ted. Well, I'm not in the business of trying to outperform God, and I have already prayed to God, so... Ted Cruz just saunters on by with his Hawaiian shirt and his shades on, flanked by college girls. Like, yeah! Spring break! Woo! And it's so darkly funny, right? The reason that I raise this on this show is because, that's what we try. We try to find the funny in the darkness, don't we? And how is this funny, Aid? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because for so many people, they see Texas as the home of freedom, don't they? They see it as pure Americana. It's apple pie America. Welcome to Texas, home of freedom. And whenever there's some stupid news story, right, about, trans rights, drag queens, child sexualization, all of that stuff, it is always some moron from Texas who, will ignore Trump's rape trial and all of the Russell Brand allegations, but they think a drag queen reading a story to a kid that they never bothered to read stories to is like, that's the problem. Child sexualization. We got to re-elect Greg Abbott. We got to re-elect Ted Cruz, send him back to the Senate, because he gonna keep the Muslims out. He gonna keep the gay lobby out of Texas, son. Meanwhile, people with brains are like, right, but don't you think gay people and trans people, they deserve some representation? Rights at the state level? Don't they? Oh, absolutely. But this is an abomination. They're trying to sexualize my child. And then you look over at this guy's fat, ugly, toothless kid. Dribbling Cheetos all down his Hulk Hogan t-shirt. You're like, are you sure? Vote Ted Cruz. Because he gonna protect your freedom. He gonna protect you from the trans, communist, Marxist thugs. And then a disaster happens like this. It's like, yeah, could we get some help with the energy back on? It's fucking roasting. I don't know why you're asking me. Well, what's this got to do with me? Well, you're the senator. You're the governor. It's too hot. Right, but is it too gay? No, it's fucking 50 degrees outside. People are dying. Right, okay, well, if it gets too gay, then call 911. But otherwise, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Okay, bye now.